welcome back to Pantheon of Geeks. Today you join us for a video where we're going to take a look at Warp Miniatures. So this is a company I've recently discovered and made a couple of purchases from, as you can see in front. We have basically two parts to this company. I just wanted to explain it in case anyone's not seen Warp Miniatures. If we have a look at one of the box sets, this is the one that really attracted me to it. You can see we've got like a fantasy-esque game called Arcwolde. The rules for this are all available to download for free, and so are the faction rules, so all that's free, so it's just the models. And one of the things about this game is the models, if you can see from that, are quite quirky looking. They've got their own character, and I'd advise you, if you're interested in fantasy, you're interested in something a bit different from like just gritty fantasy, then something a bit more like the game Overlord or something like that. This is what this guy reminds me of, which is I really like it. Go and check them out. So that's Warp Miniatures. I wanted to have a quick look at the range, so I've not even opened these yet. These are my first two boxes into this range. These are both starter sets. One is the Arcwolde Starter set, one is the Wizard Starter set. I think they're two of the more recent sets that have come out for it. But the company also has a digital workshop on My Mini Factory. You can access it through the website, or you can go to My Mini Factory and look for Warp Miniatures. And what I wanted to clear up, a few things when I first looked into it was I didn't know whether these models were for Arcwolde as well, but they're not. So this month's models are these ones here, which I've already printed off, and I do have this one as well. So this is just an owlbear that was on their website. I need an owlbear for D&D, and I might even use it in a War Transformed as one of the manifestations, because it's quite cool. This comes in a little set with two owlbears, this one, and then one rearing up, and then a little baby one as well, and a little nest. I've only printed those two off because that's all I really need for D&D. So, as I said, when I was looking into the company, or looking into the different models, the digital workshop models are not to do with Arcwolde. You could proxy them as Arcwolde Miniatures, but the two things are completely separate. You can buy these from their own web store. I got this one from Firestorm Games, and I got this one from Warp Miniatures' own web store. Both came really quickly. This had a discount on it from Firestorm. This had a first time purchase discount, so don't forget you can get 10% off on your first purchase. Also, if you join the tribe on the digital side, you do get 10% off all the web store purchases for as long as you want, for as long as you're a tribe member, should I say. And you also get 50% off any of the digital purchases if you're a tribe member. I joined because I saw these guys. So, these little gnomes, which are awesome. So this is this month's set that you get if you become a tribe member. And I'll show you a little frog rider though. There he is. These guys are really cool. And they're called the Battle from a Mushroom Pass, or Shroom Pass. Which is obviously, if you look at the models as well, and if you know anything about older versions of Warhammer, you might recognise the sort of layout of spearmen, archers, having a shaman and a boss, and then having some riders here, not on spiders though, but on frogs. So these are basically the goblins for Battle for Skull Pass. I think that's what it was called. But it was the one with the dwarves and the goblins in, and these are like replacements for the goblins. And they're really cute, but also really quirky, and I just really liked them. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, yeah, I'm going to join to get these. It's always good to join a tribe. If you see something that month you want, it's usually cheaper to join it than it is to get it afterwards. But you can always get them afterwards. You don't need to worry about missing out, just that you might want it to get a bit cheaper. So as I joined, I also got a welcome pack. One of the models in the welcome pack, there's a few in there, is this little guy, this little halfling burglar, which I decided to print off to have a look at. I'm sure I shall use him in some game. But there we go. I just wanted to show you these printed off models. they're really quite nice detail. If the camera's picking them up, it's always difficult with resin. I don't feel like the light does it justice, to be honest. Hopefully you can see that there. And then I'll pick up one of the banner bearers actually. We've not had a look at the banner bearers. So I got a little bit of a cold. I'm sniffling a bit. I do apologise. Robert decided to give me a cold, so great. Brought it on from nursery. There we go. And what else? A little musician. What guy with a trombone? So if you check out the web store, you'll see a lot of other models on there. There are gnolls. There's some halflings on there, for forest halflings that look very much like they're from the Rings of Power. There's a lot of interesting models there, kobold especially, and bullywugs. So if you're looking for any bullywugs for your D&D campaigns, have a look at those. They're quite quirky. There's even a frog prince if you're running a while beyond the Lynchlight. There's quite a few little models in there that are quite helpful, even some little mushrooms. So they are really good. I like them. I like the style. It's quirky, and I'll probably go on the web store. There's quite a few things on there I quite like the look of. Over time I might buy some and print them off. So if you want to see them, anything like that, any of the printed models that I print off, just put it in the comments. But for now, all I have is the gnomes and this owlbear and stuff. They do have a very nice demi-lich, and they also have a demigorgon as well. That's the other one I was trying to remember. They're quite cool looking. Yeah, so that is the digital workshop side. It doesn't relate to the Arcwolde game. These are for the Arcwolde game. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm just going to unbox these, take a look at them, stick them together, have a look at the finished models, and then take it from there. If you guys want to see any Arcwolde videos, playing the game or anything, please put it in the comments. Here we go. So everything's just in this box. I think that was just to keep it from rattling around. I don't think it's anything in particular. Yeah, it's just a picture of the Dark Lord, nothing in there. Obviously just to keep it from rattling around in there. It is in one bag. This setup sort of reminds me of the original first edition of Malifaux. We got a little box with metal novels. In fact, the bases are the same. Oh, and that's one thing on the digital one. You do get a digital download for these shape bases, but the 30mm is the smallest base, and I thought it was a bit big for these guys. So I went with 25mm MDF. It's really not that different, is it? Yeah, I'm going to see them together. I suppose you don't have this big a lip. So like if they ever did like a smaller base, like a 20mm lipped one, that'd be quite cool. So if you're watching this Warp Miniatures, maybe some lip bases for these. Oh, and please put these in Arcwolde. I know they're not actually currently in there, and these were just done to sort of a homage to the Warhammer goblins, but these would be really good in Arcwolde actually. I want some gnomes in there now. Anyway, so they've got the lip bases. We've got a big lip base for the boss. In this set we have a hobgoblin with a huge spear and a helmet. In the game, at least when I was putting the army list together for these guys, I did count this guy's having light armour because he's got a nice helmet on, so he can have light armour. But he's the first of the hobgoblins for this Dark Lord. There's a little bits of flash on there, pretty easy to come off as you can see. A little bit of clean up to do on that. So we also have some underlings. A lot more flash on that one, but it's fine, that can come off. Probably clip that off actually. So it's underling there. Another underling. And that's the other underling. This guy really gives me Labyrinth vibes. The guys that can take their own heads off. I don't know if that was the intention, but he certainly looks like one of those I don't even know what they were called in Labyrinth. It's so long since I watched it. But I remember the red guys who could, like, I don't know if they eat fire or whatever, but they could definitely tear their heads off like this guy. So we have those guys, and then we have the massive model of the Dark Lord. This guy's actually massive. This is way bigger than I thought. In fact, the Hobgoblin was bigger than I thought. I think it's because I printed these guys off. Even the, like, halfling. Yeah. I was expecting these to be slightly smaller. These are awesome. These are really cool. I like them. You can also get these in resin. Most of the resin models on the website cost more than the metal models, although there's a few that I've seen where it's the other way around, weirdly. But yeah, I prefer working in metal. Put my teeth in. I prefer working in metal because I'm an old person. I'm not sure what kind of resin they use. Obviously, it's not going to be the same as this resin. So I can't really judge their resin quality. And as long as I get the option of getting models in metal instead, I will do. So that is the head of the Overlord. Very Sauron / Arthas vibes I'm getting off this. I think it's definitely a mix of different dark Overlords here. We have the sword, which is absolutely massive. I mean, I don't think it actually counts as a two-handed sword. It easily could. Look at the size of that next to a hobbit. That's like 3 hobbits, if you don't count the base. 3 hobbit sword. You can take out most of the fellowship with that. So there is the sword, and there is the other arm, which is holding fire. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get these cleaned up. This is just going to be a case of sticking the 2 hands on. There's nothing complex really here. It's just going to be a case of fiddling around with some super glue, getting these in place. I'll get them on their bases. It looks like, yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. None of them really overlap stupidly onto the edges. So yeah, I think I'm not going to put anything like cork on. I don't think. No, I won't, because I can't get these base puddles, or whatever you call them. I know Wargames Atlantic calls them puddles. I don't know if they're technically puddles or not. I can't get them off. They're a great deal of effort, so I'm not going to. I'm probably going to do them all in sort of like a green field sort of thing anyway, because there's going to be, if I do continue with the game, I'll probably get hobbits and stuff. Halflings, should I say, not hobbits. It's not Lord of the Rings. So I'll probably get halflings. And probably do some battles around like a halfling themed area. So it's probably going to be like the Shire and green. So I'll probably base them all like that. Pretty similar to actually how the box art is on these guys. I don't think it's any different on any of the sets. They use sort of a greenish, some rocks. Yeah. So I'm just going to glue these straight onto these bases. I'm not going to faff around. So I'll glue these together, and then I can come back with a finished set. Okay, so we have a stuck together Dark Lord. Quite the imposing model, that. I mean, I've got the metal Sauron model from years ago, and I think he's about yay big-ish. I remember being quite large. This guy's quite big as well. That's awesome. Then we have our, oops, daisy. That's not quite set. That was the last one. We have our goods on there. So we've got our 3 underlings and our hobgoblin. So this lot, and one of the reasons I chose both of these sets as well. This all with his spear, giving him light armor, and with giving him a Alchemite token, which is something in the game which allows you to cast extra spells or do extra things, and a black potion, which I think is a healing potion for him. With those few little bits of MacGuffin, this set comes to 355 points, or gold coins, or gold pieces, or whatever currency you want to say, but points. That's the That's how much this starter set gives you for this. And when I've totaled up an army for these guys, comes to 355 as well. I think the halfway one came to about 400 odd, so I wanted something that was pretty even, so that's one of the reasons I chose the Wizards starter set. Also, on that note, if you go onto the website, there is actually an army builder, so you can check out any of the rules, and you can check out the points costs, and you can actually build your own units before you even buy anything. There's also a downloadable print and play set, so you can actually play the game with standees if you print them off. So you can check the game out complete without spending anything at all other than on paper and printer ink, just as a point. So these guys, let's have a look at these guys now. This is the Wizard starter set. I said the reason I chose these is because we come to the same points with a few bits of MacGuffin thrown in. Yeah, so that's a good. That bit of cardboard is just a little bit to keep that in place. So let's have a look at these guys. So in this set we should have the Wizard. Needs his staff bending a little bit back. There we go. Again, some flash on that. Needs to come off. A little bit of an adjustment. It's quite thick metal, this actually. That's not too bad for bending back. It's coming back in a straight line quite well. Some thinner metal won't do that, but that's cool. So that is the Wizard. Then we have one of the apprentices. So they've got a wand and a backpack. And this guy's got a staff. So I think in the game it sort of says you can give them a ranged wizard weapon. I think you get like a preloaded staff with magic missiles. I think it's described in the lore. So this guy would come, you'd be able to just say, you don't have to give him anything, you could just say he's an apprentice. But in the little set I did, I'm giving him a wizard staff, which has got, so it's basically a wizard range weapon. The other apprentice doesn't have anything. This guy has another one of those Arcanite tokens, and a pilfered tome, because he's got a tome in his hand. Quite interesting. The wizards can come from different colleges. It's a very Warhammer vibe. I think there's 6 colleges in this though. I think there's something like, not to quote all the rules, go and check them out, they're free. But there's the Crimson College, which is like fire. I'm going to do the Sapphire College, which is kind of water. These guys are explorers and such like, so I'll probably paint him in blues. The box art has him in like purples, which is really nice actually. But I really like the paint style. Whoever painted them has done a really good job, I think, in my opinion. But I think this is meant to be the Opal College, I'm not sure, because it's sort of in purples as opposed to blues, even though these guys are in sort of blues. But there's an Opal College, which is kind of like your Amethyst College from Warhammer. So I think they deal with like the living and the dead kind of thing going on. So there's various colleges. We also have these little sprites, which are summoned into the game. Got some flash on those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick these on the bases. There is nothing in this kit which is multi-part. In fact, I won't waste your time. I'll just clean them up off camera and stick them on the bases. So that is basically the set, yeah. That's really straightforward. There's just little bits of flash to take off these and they're done. Unlike the Dark Lord, there's nothing to stick together, but just for scale purposes, there is the Dark Lord next to one of the apprentices. So that would be a normal human size next to this guy. Again, these guys are quite big. They're 32, I think we said it was 28, but I think these are like 32 mil. I'm not entirely sure on the scale, but they're quite tall. So we've got around here one of the war transformed Atlantic. Yeah, so you can see the scale difference though. Massively different. Doesn't bother me because this is like a new range, a new set to play around with. Yeah, but I really like these. So if you guys want to see me play the game or go into any further depth on Arcwolde, please put it in the comments. Otherwise I'll just get on with it and play it myself, and may or may not put a video up. But if you want to see it, put it in the comments. Want to see like a face-off between the wizards and the Dark Lord? That could be interesting. They're all fae beings. Please put it in the comments. But thanks for watching my ramblings on Warp Miniatures. I really like them. I'd advise that if you're interested in fantasy or quirky fantasy, if you've ever played the game Overlord and really liked it, go and check out their website, see what they've got to offer, and see if you might be interested. Also check out their digital workshop. You might have a lot of options there for D&D games or alternate fantasy armies. It's certainly worth a look. But there we go. And just before we end the video, as you can see, before I've even had a chance to upload the first part of this video, I actually was trying out some paint schemes and got these guys painted up. So these are the metal miniatures. Haven't quite done the gnomes yet, but this is the wizards group painted up. My challenge to myself was to use my recently acquired Too Thin Coats range. I have all the Phase 1 paints, none of the Phase 2 paints yet, so this is just the Phase 1 paints. I wanted to try them out, and I'm actually very happy with the results. Obviously this guy has turned out, I'm quite happy with how this turned out. So that was the wizard, one of the apprentices, and the other apprentice, and one of the sprites. It's one of my favourite, actually. The fish, the walking fish, is my favourite sprite. I really do like that one. So that's the wizards crew, and I wanted them from the Sapphire College, and again I only had the paints. The challenge was just to use those paints and nothing else. So I only had the one set of blues, and what I did was I mixed the blue with the greens from the set to make a more sea green colour to give it an offset. So this is the Sapphire College, slightly different sort of take than just being blue. I wanted something else against that blue, and then I wanted to lighten up that blue as well to make it much more of a ocean vibe, because it says that they're ocean explorers and stuff, so I went more for the watery feel rather than the actual darker sapphire gem feel that I was initially going to do. And then he has his pilfered book. So as it's pilfered, it's actually from the Crimson College, which is why that one's in red. Yeah, it'll get burnt up when he uses it, but that's fine, because he'll just have it again. He'll have pilfered another one by the next game. That's fine. But yeah, even have a little background story for him, and obviously the Dark Lord as well. Speaking of the Dark Lord, he's also painted, so let's have a look at him. So here is the Dark Lord, all done up. More of a copy of the box art more than anything. I mean, I really went down the Sauron route with the colour schemes and stuff. I didn't want to do all the fire between the arm plates. I think the more armoured approach does look better for what I like anyway. I did put some runes on the blade though. The Hobgoblin sort of switched around some of the colours, giving him a black sort of like cloth. It's not even a cloak or anything, because it's just like rags that sort of go with the black from the cloak of the Dark Lord, and then just some brown pants. The green I mixed up with some of the colours. I think he used the browns, I think he used the boar hide and mixed it in with the greens to give it sort of the Hobgoblin skin colour that he's got, which is sort of a off green fleshy colour. And then obviously I just painted the sprites with the fire colours. Sorry, the underlings. These are underlings, not sprites. He's my favourite, the guy taking his head off. He's so labyrinth, it's brilliant. So there we go, so all using the Too Thin Coats, apart from the base. That was AK Interactive's Dark Earth diorama. It's really good as well, by the way. It's the first time I've used that. And on the, I also used some of the AK Interactive muddy puddles to try and make some muddy puddles on their bases. Turned out okay. It's really hard to see the muddy puddles, to be fair. Yeah, you can just make them out on the light. I only did it on these guys as a little bit of a test. But yeah, it's not that much different to using other kinds of water effects. It's just a bit browner, a bit greener. You could make it yourself from any basic water effect and just add a bit of colouring. Well, I'm really impressed with the Dark Earth. That's as good as the Games Workshop texture paints, and you get a lot more of it. So this, again, these were painted just using 2 thin coats, and they've come out really well. I really like the range. I'm not on commission for any of these, it's just what I've been trying out. I think they're as good as Games Workshop paints, the paint itself anyway. I did notice it was taking longer to dry than the Games Workshop paint, but that might also be because it's been very cold, especially where I've been painting, because I've been painting somewhere different from where I normally paint, and it could really just be an environmental thing rather than the paint. When I did the dry brushing, it came out just the same, so I'm happy with the dry brushing. The inks are slightly different. I don't think they saturate to the same level, but they're still very good. But the paints I really like. I'm probably going to get the Phase 2 set, and I'll probably get it from Sarissa Precision because they come with a nice little stand that you can separate all the paints out onto. And I do have the Phase 1 stand, and it is actually very good for a stand, just made of MDF. I've had them in the past and they just fall to bits. This one's a lot sturdier. So I do like them. I'm going to probably replace the Games Workshop paints over time with these, and hopefully, apart from contrast, because there's no contrast variant yet from 2 thin coats. There are army painter ones, I've not tried them yet, but I think I'll be replacing my Games Workshop paints. As I said, they're as good, but they obviously come in better bottles because they come in dropper bottles, and they come with activator in them as well, so they're just instantly better because they're just in a better bottle, basically. That's my experience of them. Your experience may differ, and you might love your Games Workshop paints. I said the Games Workshop paints, I've always used them. They're always my go-to for everything, and to change to another range is a bit daunting, but yeah, I'm going to try doing more stuff in the 2 thin coats, and rather than replacing my Games Workshop paints when they run out, I'll probably just get the 2 thin coats ones. There we go. I'm very impressed with how they turned out, to be honest. I really like these models, and I really enjoyed painting them. I also use some random woodland scatter that I have. I have no idea where it comes from. I've had it for years. I think I got it from an asset drop when they used to do those. So in one of the previous asset drop videos you might have seen me pull out some woodland scatter that I've just never used, and I found it the other day when I was basing these, and I thought, oh, I'll just throw it on, see what happens, because these might have been just a one-off painting project, but having read the rules for the game now, I'm quite interested in playing it. So if you guys want to see me play Arcwolde on the channel, put it in the comments. I would like to probably play some games just with these 2 starter sets, just to see how they go off, and if you want me to video that, let me know. Other than that, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon, guys. Bye for now.